Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, April 26th through Saturday to come, May 2nd. It is exactly 11:11. So at 11:11, it is an alert. When we see those numbers, repeating ones, it is an alert to us that we are in a period or a moment of manifestation, and we should be making sure that we're thinking of positive things to draw what it is we've had focused intentions upon nearer to ourselves, the things that we need, the things that we desire. And if, of course, we don't get all those things that we desire, but if it is, in accordance with the universe's will for us, then we do. So it's important that we're thinking positively, because we can also manifest negativity into our life. Our minds are that powerful. So just be mindful of that. But that does remind me that at 10:10 every morning and every evening, we've been praying for brothers and sisters around the world, for the planet itself to continue to heal itself, and to be better, cleaner, healthier, so that we can be as well. We're praying, of course, for an end to the virus and for an end to any suffering that anybody's enduring. And so that's what we've been asking for. And, I'm just reminding you guys to do it. We can all get caught up, but if you're home and you're not doing anything, please, do try to remember to commit to doing that. If you're among the prayer warriors, if you are a person that prays or meditates on things and makes intentions and tries to lift other people up. If you're not, then, just ignore that part of what I've said. Also, for people who pray and are spiritual, the month of Ramadan began last week. I did talk about it during the video and explain what Ramadan was all about. And I've subsequently started a page on Facebook to help people to remember to say their prayers during the month of Ramadan, and also the fast. I just felt it was difficult, or potentially difficult, probably because it's like more difficult for me to remember. I used to very naturally intermittent fast before I even knew intermittent fasting was a thing. It was just the way I ate. If I was going out one day, for example, I'm going to meet some friends after work or whatever, I'm not eating all day. I'm not eating until we go out, because I'm just not. And so I learned much later that was a thing, and it was called intermittent fasting. Well, it's very hard for me to do, even though it came so naturally to me, very hard for me to do during quarantine, because the days just sort of, all run together. So if you're doing it for a higher purpose, because you're trying to remember to pray and you're trying to remember to fast, and to honor God, and to draw a to have a deepening of your spiritual consciousness, then it's important that you remember, right? Or if you're trying to watch your weight, it's important that you remember, because we could get out of hand during this kind of time too, with the quarantine, with what we're eating, we're just in the house and stuff like that. So I did make a page, and right away it was confirmed to me that I had done what I was supposed to do, because I took a snapshot of one of the live clocks that the one for the state of New York, that was telling people what times of day in New York, beginning that day, we were to start praying. The first time was 4:44 in the morning, but that was what had reminded me about the whole event. And I had just posted something about the 4:44 the night before. And the time that I captured this snapshot, it was 2 hours, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. It was something like 2, like 6 twos till the next prayer, which was going to occur, I think, at 12:55 that day. So I said, with all these 444s and 222s and all this stuff in this picture, it's just reconfirmation for me that I'm doing what I was guided to do. But I woke up with it on my mind to do. So there's that. Also, the other admin for Divine Girl Talk contacted me the other day about wanting to put together like a live stream, and just trying to figure out right now, still tossing around exactly what day to do it, and how to do it. Will just people who are members of the page just call in if they want and join the live, and we'll have a conversation that way. How are we going to do it? So that's in the works, but I just wanted you guys to be aware that it is something that she is thinking about, and that she let me know about, and I agreed with. I thought it was a great idea. So that should be coming, and just an opportunity for us to get together and talk. The page is called Girl Talk because my viewership is primarily female and or feminine archetype, even though some of those feminine archetypes are males. But it's 85% female when last I checked my viewership. So it's Divine Girl Talk, but we don't block men. As a matter of fact, there are some male members of the page and stuff like that. And everybody's welcome to, chat. It's called Girl Talk in quotes, so you don't have to feel any kind of way about it. All right, so on that note, let's get into the reading for the week. So there is something on the Christian calendar, beginning with the first day for which this reading is tomorrow, Sunday the 26th. It is the feast day of Our Lady of Good Counsel. Because there's so many other things going on the planetary calendar, I'm not going to read officially about Our Lady of Good Counsel, but I will tell you that it is a feast day that celebrates an apparition of Mary that occurred in Rome and simultaneously occurred in Albania. And the people from Albania, two gentlemen, came to Rome to confirm that they had seen something, and sort of like following the North Star, like in when Jesus was born, they followed this image of Mary to Rome and were confirmed that they had seen the same thing. So the church sent a bishop out to reconfirm everything and to go to the church in Rome where there had been like a painting, very thinly veiled painting in the wall or on the wall that was removed. It would have been like impossible for somebody to remove by hand without destroying it. It was removed, but it was still intact. And so that was proof to him that something more divine had removed the painting in Rome. And again, he had the two eyewitnesses of the occurrence in Albania. And so the Pope at the time officially made it a feast day, and people go to that area, to that church, and they are healed. You can still go and see the image, or what they call it, an icon. This image of Mary and her son, and be healed by it to this day is the belief system. So that's that. And then also on the same day, no, as a matter of fact, not on the same day, not tomorrow, today, but I'll go ahead and mention it because I didn't mention it last week. It's the first day of the Hebrew month of Iyar. And for that, I think I was prepared to go to www.chabad.org. Iyar is the second month on the Jewish calendar, counting from Nisan. Shortly after the Exodus, the thirsty Israelites reached a well of bitter water. Moses cast a tree into the water, and it miraculously became sweet. God then promised that if Israel followed his ways, quote, "The diseases I have placed on Egypt, I will not place upon you, for I am God, your healer." I find this particularly interesting because maybe I should have read about Our Lady of Good Counsel. It's very much about Mary's a healer. She's an intercessor. That's for what she was known throughout the Bible. A lot of people don't realize that. They only recognize her as, Jesus's mother, but she had her own healing abilities. All right. Anyway, so the same day, we are recognizing God as a healer with the beginning of the month of Iyar. The acronym for this last phrase spells out the name of the month of Iyar in Hebrew letters, thus indicating that Iyar is a time for healing. I have to click on read more. Although Iyar does not contain many special days, every single day of the month is included in the Sephirat HaOmer counting, the mitzvah to count each of the 49 days between Passover and Shavuot. Sephirat HaOmer is a period of introspection and of self-refinement as we prepare ourselves to receive the Torah anew on Shavuot. Each day of Iyar represents another step in this spiritual journey toward Sinai. And it goes on and talks about how you can learn more about the Sephirat and the Pesach and all these things. If you're interested, I went to www.chabad.org for that information. But I'm going to move on to the planetary calendar because we've got a few things going on there too. So, also today, the 25th, At 2:54 p.m., Pluto entered retrograde, 24 degrees Capricorn. So Pluto's been located in Capricorn for a long time, and I think it remains there for yet a long time still. And for more information than I have in my head about it, I've gone to www.tarot.com for this. This is an article they wrote back on, or published back on November 25th, 2019. Pluto in Capricorn, focused, efficient, and reconstructive. And it covers the transit, which goes from November 26, 2008 through March 23rd, 2023. So that is a long time that it's been there, and a long time still that it will be there, another 3 years. But right now, it's not only is Pluto in Capricorn where it's been for this time, but it has entered retrograde. Pluto, the farthest planet, rules our darkest realms. He holds dominion over our fears, our secrets, and our needs for power and control. It's Pluto that pulls the darkest parts of ourselves into the light, forcing us to identify where changes are needed. Authoritative Capricorn sees Pluto's bet and raises it. Capricorn is a sign of success and strength, able to embrace the intensity of Pluto and to direct its transformative energy where it's needed most. This powerful combination has the ability to change the world at large when Pluto is in Capricorn. The good news is Pluto and Capricorn have some things in common. They're both success and power oriented. They share a strong sense of intention and focus that makes them supremely efficient in their tasks. But because of their mutual hunger for results, we may find that compassion for others' ideas and viewpoints gets cast aside during this transit. We're especially intolerant now of contrary views that threaten to slow down our forward march. Pluto wants us to leave behind negative patterns and structures that no longer work for us. Often this involves a certain level of destruction. Like I just pictured Lord Shiva, the destroyer, like knocking things down so that it could be rebuilt. Pluto must tear down the past so that we may rebuild anew. Okay, I guess that's why. Many signs would be crushed under the weight of Pluto's power, but not Capricorn. Capricorn is strong enough to harness this transformative energy and to channel it to the most effective areas. Because Pluto is the farthest planet, he has the broadest reach, influencing the whole of humanity more than each individual. As a society, Pluto in Capricorn forces us to face our feelings about power, government, and corporations. These are Capricorn's areas of focus, and Pluto's presence here could give us an especially negative view of people and institutions that are in positions of control. The goal of Pluto in Capricorn is really to transform the social order, to overcome the inequities of power and resources by becoming more aware of our shared humanity. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. As Pluto treks backward through the cosmos each year, he's on a mission to force deep, real change in our lives. While Pluto's energy is typically cast globally, Pluto retrograde zeroes in on us as individuals, our negative patterns, and the lies that we tell ourselves. In Capricorn, Pluto retrograde forces us to honestly consider our goals and the ways that we are sabotaging ourselves. Just because a goal has been a goal for a long time doesn't mean it's the right path. Clinging to our already laid plans because we fear change or starting over will not end in us feeling good about our accomplishments. Allowing Pluto retrograde to point out our weak points actually puts us back in control and puts the control back in our hands. It doesn't feel good to see the error in our ways, but it gives us the power to transform our negative behaviors and ultimately to end up in the best possible place. It goes on to talk about what it means for one to have been born with Pluto in Capricorn in their chart, and you can look it up there. Also, some Pluto in Capricorn traits: determined, purposeful, overhauling, conquering, heavy, no nonsense, forceful, freeing, and methodical. The next transit we're going to discuss is Mercury in Taurus. So on Monday, April 27th at 3:53 p.m., Mercury, which rules the sign of Gemini, where it is currently located, leaves and enters Taurus at 0 degrees. 0 degrees Mercury and 0 degrees Taurus. And for more about that, I have gone again to www.tarot.com. Mercury in Taurus: persistent, practical, purposeful. April 27th through May 11th is the length of this transit. Mercury finds a sturdy environment in the Earth sign Taurus. Mercury is the planet that rules the mind, influencing the way that we think and communicate. Taurus is a very practical and determined sign that, when energized by Mercury, can help us to turn our loose ideas into real plans. Concrete values and practical perspectives are likely to take on greater significance for all of us during this transit. Imagination and wishful thinking take a back seat while Mercury moves through Taurus. Instead of wandering conversations and fresh thoughts, we're given the gift of stability. We're able to take our time, plan our path, and to create strong foundations that can benefit our future. Mercury's transit through practical Taurus is a time when common sense rules. Taurus is a sign that is very connected to the material world, so there's an extra emphasis on what's real during Mercury in Taurus. This isn't a time for flights of fancy. It's about focusing on the things that are going to bring us the most tangible results. Instead of coming up with a few creative new ways of thinking and doing things, we should stick to what we know works right now. Mercury generally excels at flexibility, but Taurus is arguably the least flexible of all of the zodiac signs. So while Mercury travels through Taurus, we may find ourselves digging in and taking rigid positions when opposed by different ideas, concepts, or facts. It's imperative that we don't lose our ability to stay open-minded so that we can overcome this stubborn resistance to whatever is new or different. So both of these transits, the Pluto one we just talked about and this Mercury one, are forcing us to get rid of what's old and doesn't work and to move toward what's new. Taurus is a very focused sign that doesn't get sidetracked easily. During this transit, we have a heightened ability to solidify plans, garner support, and to make major forward progress. Our intentions with others are calm and are purposeful, keeping drama and distraction to a minimum so that we can keep our eyes on our most important goals. And it goes on to talk about what it means for Mercury to be retrograde in Taurus. I don't think that will happen, but if it does, we'll come back to it at that time and read some more. It also talks about what it means for you to have been born with your Mercury in Taurus in your chart. So that's here. And some Mercury and Taurus traits: focused, determined, straightforward, realistic, strong, deliberate, unwavering, careful, and calm. On April 29th at 8:21 p.m., we have the asteroid Pallas entering Aquarius at 0 degrees Pallas, 0 degrees Aquarius. And then lastly, on April 30th at 4:38 p.m., the quarter moon occurs, 10 degrees Leo. So for more about Pallas and Aquarius, that's the last one I'm going to read about. I've gone to this website, dreamastromeanings.com. Pallas in Aquarius. Pallas is the second in line discovered asteroid following Ceres and one of the largest ones in our solar system. It is the third in mass existing asteroid. This asteroid was discovered by the astronomer Heinrich Wilhelm Matthias Olbers in the year 1802. First, it was considered a planet, like all of the other asteroids. Its surface is mostly silicates. The name Pallas derives from the ancient Greek goddess Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom, whose alternate name was Pallas Athena. According to some mythological stories, she was born from the head of Zeus, the god Zeus. According to some other myths, the goddess Athena killed her friend Pallas and afterward took her name, grieving for her lost friend. Asteroids, although not commonly used in the interpretation of the natal birth chart, can have a very important impact on our personalities and over our life experiences and circumstances. In general, they represent some female archetypes and the feminine power a person possesses. In astrology, the asteroid Pallas often represents our creative intellect and our efforts. It indicates our intelligence, wisdom, and healing powers. So more about healing powers. That's the third event that's occurring this week that is about our healing powers. Pallas indicates how we control and manage our animalistic and aggressive tendencies using our intelligence and wisdom. Pallas indicates our desire to fight for what we believe in and what is right, and is focused on the greater good rather than on her. She symbolizes our relationships with our father, especially for women, father-daughter relationships, as well as the men in our lives. Like when we call our man daddy. Is it like that may be for another channel or another time. Pallas may influence some biased beliefs toward men. She either can make us instinctively trust them or, contrary, doubt their motives. Pallas is often attributed some superpowers. Like the goddess she got her name from, she's considered the warrior queen. She needs to discover the truth before she can make a decision and take action. That's kind of very high priestess too, right? The high priestess waits until she has all the information before she decides what her next move is. Pallas is defensive, and she will use her wit to avoid violence if possible. She indicates a person's intuitive abilities, intelligence, and perception. This asteroid indicates our talent for strategic planning and accomplishing our goals. She is prominent in the natal charts of people who have some creative profession and visual arts, such as photography, movies, design, painting, poetry, etc. The asteroid Pallas also rules our healing abilities and mental techniques of self-healing, such as visualization, meditation, mind control, affirmation, and hypnosis. If prominently positioned, it might indicate the person's healing abilities or receptivity to such ways of healing. In some cases, prominently positioned Pallas in a person's natal chart can give a great talent for diplomacy and politics. If Pallas has bad aspects, it might indicate a lack of diplomatic skills, weak character, aggressiveness, and similar traits. In some cases, Pallas influence might cause a woman to be very competitive and aggressive, thus limiting her feminine qualities, and cause a man to become overly passive and dependent, acquiring too much feminine qualities. In the natal chart of a person, Pallas describes the manners we confront with our issues regarding our creativity, skills, politics, healing, relationships, as well as fear of success. And this goes on to talk specifically about what it means for Pallas to show up, Pallas in Aquarius man or Pallas in Aquarius women. So for those of you who want to check that out, depending upon where your Pallas is located, again, I went to dreamastromeanings.com. And if you'd like to know where these asteroids are located for yourselves in your own chart, Ceres, Pallas, Vesta, Juno, Chiron, then I got this link here that I will share on the video. It is horoscopeyourself.com horoscope. But I also tend to recommend to people, if they want to look up their natal chart for free, and have some understanding of it, even though they don't necessarily have understanding of natal charts in general, I tend to recommend Cafe Astrology's Cafe, CAFE Astrology, their free natal chart, because they do summarize each aspect after they display the chart and, point out where each item is located. They give a brief summary to sort of explain what it means for each thing. So I think that that's helpful for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to read a chart on their own. All right, and so on that note, let's get into the cards and the dice. This week we begin with Weekend Away, Forget It, Cocktail. I got too much light here. Spirit says email. That could be all the Aquarius energy, right? Contacting people, communicating via some sort of technology. So email and FaceTime and sending pics and videos and online dating and all that kind of stuff. Also, eat cake. Happy birthday to the Tauruses, the first decan Tauruses that are celebrating. The Aries Taurus cusps. Eat cake. And maybe you're celebrating some other stuff too. Congratulations if you are. And dirty movie. So this sort of confirms what I was talking about, sending each other pics and videos and stuff too. That's what dirty movie tends to be about for me. Also, again, contact online and maybe, telling each other sweet talk and all that kind of stuff online. For the cards, I have my Ascended Masters deck here. We're beginning with Ocean and Drink Water. So some of you may be going through ascension symptoms right now, and you definitely need to drink water. She tends to show up when that is what's happening, and she wants me to let people know that you have to remain hydrated during when you're experiencing ascension symptoms. Otherwise, you could develop really bad headaches and stuff like that. Also, see the other person's point of view. I actually had a client to email me from India the other day telling me that she had a really, really bad headache, and I could just feel that she was dehydrated. So that's what I wrote back. Sure enough, she drank some water and she felt much better. So some of us are indeed experiencing that. With the cards, Six of Springs, so Six of Wands, you may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, find that you're singled out for a special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, success. It is about promotion, raise, recognition. If somebody had been talking shit about you, even for example, it's like if that was done publicly, then do the apology in public too, or let it come out in public that was wrong. And, so things are getting clarified and you're coming out on top, or your name is coming out on top, or both. Now, the next card is also upright. It's the Four of Pentacles, and this can be about holding on to stuff from the past, probably connected to that Pluto stuff that we just read about. I couldn't get it out quick enough. It definitely is, okay? Because Major Arcana card 15, ego or the devil is right behind it. So let me finish my sentence. I was saying this card can be about holding on too tightly to people, places, things from our past or from our current lives that we need to get rid of. We know we need to get rid of it. I've talked many times about how this card doesn't mean for me what it means for many, many other, readers or, so-called psychics or intuitives. I describe it as like when you've had a job and you don't like the job, and you don't like the people there, and they don't like you, and you wish you didn't have to get up every morning and go to this place because you really just can't stand it, but you get a paycheck. That's the part that you don't mind. You get a paycheck. But that's all there is. There is no other connection. There is nothing else. It doesn't move you. It doesn't do anything for your spirit, right? This is not your purpose. You're not filling your purpose. And the same thing can happen with relationships. We can stay and be in relationships because, I get half my bills paid. I get hot meals. I got half a kid with this person. So I might as well stay in this miserable existence. No. I mean, it's your free will choice to do that. But the fact that we have some sort of compensation for something that makes us miserable doesn't mean that we should continue to remain miserable, just for the fact that the opportunity to continue to collect that compensation. It's up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it. And I think we just read about a lot of things not actually being worth it and not serving our purpose, and for those with those things, we're supposed to be letting go of those things, right? So I think that's why this Four of Autumn or Pentacles is showing up here. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keeps people out. And again, the next and last upright card here is Major Arcana card 15, Ego, or the Devil, which does represent the sign of Capricorn. So that's why I was saying, yeah, it's very Pluto and Capricorn. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. So just like I was saying about the relationship, oh, we got kids together, I have to stay here. Oh, we got this house together, I can't leave. We got a lease together. People can break leases, or there's ways to go about it. You find somebody to finish out the rest of your lease, or you pay off the rest of your lease, but you get the hell out of there because you just can't take it anymore and it's damaging your spirit. There's ways. We have to think and decide for ourselves. Yes, acknowledge, yes, I have options, and then decide for ourselves if we're going to exercise any of those options or take advantage of any of those options. But to close ourselves off to them and to lie to ourselves, like the passage mentioned, and tell ourselves we have no options when that's not true, is what needs to stop. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. I will mention, it's upside down, but I will go ahead and mention that the next card is the Prince of Summer, so the Knight of Cups, which just makes it even more so, again, Pluto in Capricorn. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. And it may involve somebody with whom we've shared some sort of pain, negativity, separation. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than ever before. And here we are coming back brand new as the Ace of Autumn. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion, right? We're going full circle back to the Six of Wands now, right? This is all about promotion. Or you can also be offered the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. And so I could just keep on going. Right behind that is the Queen of Autumn. So here's the Taurus energy. This card in the tarot most directly relates to the sign of Taurus, because the Queen, if in traditional tarot practice, represents the fixed element of the fixed sign of a given element. The Queen of Autumn or Pentacles is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative and should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. And lastly, the Ace of Spring, the Ace of Wands. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every opportunity that comes your way, every possibility. And lastly, oh my goodness, this is so funny. Didn't I just mention him? I swear I had no idea he was sitting here at the top of the deck. Lord Shiva, Transcendence. So this is him in a different capacity. This isn't even what I was thinking about what I had envisioned when I just saw Lord Shiva the Destroyer knocking things down and so that they can be built back up. But this is similar because it's about transcendence. It's about rising above a situation or so moving past it, moving beyond it. Rise up, honor your inner force, steps are being given. Dance with the universe. So we're going to receive some sort of guidance or instruction as to what our next move should be. Dance move. All right, so now that we've seen all these and we've been through them somewhat, I'm going to give them another mix up here. We're just going to very arbitrarily mix these up. Okay, no rhyme or reason to any of it, although I did just flip over and look at Major Arcana card Death, which represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio again, too. So we come to an overall energy of the Seven of Fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. Crowning the masculine this week. It is fear, the Nine of Swords. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing upon the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. He is surrounded by the masculine, that is, this week. The Eight of Spring, Eight of Wands. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. So this is the universe working on our behalf behind the scenes. It's also, again, communication coming through to and or from us. And it's another Knight of Cups in the masculine subconscious, the Knight of Water. He is, again, a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He's also emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. So a lot of times when the Knight of Cups shows up for me, it is about a return, like somebody returning to your life for whatever reason. Very possibly romantic reasons, even if you weren't involved romantically prior. So it could be like a friend that's returning and now something else develops. Or the night in terms of love, just like if I'm just reading, doing a love reading straight up and the Knight of Water or Knight of Cups showed up, I would say very, very possible for you to be like swept off your feet completely unexpectedly, something going on behind the scenes. So somebody could be thinking, maybe fearfully, they could be afraid about coming back into your life. Universe very much directing them to do that, but they haven't made a move yet because they are afraid of like how you're going to respond. Maybe because there had been, again, some pain or separation between you before, which is why we saw that Three of Swords a moment ago. But you are empowered. So you'll be all right if they decide to show up. It is Major Arcana card 11, Strength, which represents the sign of Leo, that says that you have the ability to face and handle any and everything that comes your way. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. It's funny because in the tarot, Major Arcana card Judgment, like it says, release harsh judgment. Judgment represents the planet Pluto in sign of Scorpio also. But Strength, again, represents the sign of Leo. Other fire signs, perhaps Aries, Sagittarius, but most directly Leo. Feminine surrounded by Major Arcana card 16, the Tower. Talk about knocking everything so we can knock everything down so we can rebuild it. The Tower, sometimes it has to do with an actual tower, a structure like a home or something. Whatever it has to do with, again, we have the ability to handle it. Somebody could be coming into our lives very quickly, very unexpectedly, right? The Tower is about abrupt happenings, events, very unexpected, shock value. Could be about some sort of revelation, that, an aha moment that we have. Just something, or change, something that comes in and affects change in our lives very quickly, very unexpectedly. Does not have to be bad. In fact, I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is, based on what else has been coming up. We're going to continue to go around and we're going to clarify these cards too. I didn't even read this one. I'm sorry. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. And we've got these two cards here that landed one atop the other. Each of them does, in fact, have an angel with their wings spread. Time to spread your wings. Okay, feminine subconscious. It is another major arcana card, and guess which one it is? Judgment. Isn't that something? Again, judgment represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. More important than that, it's one of my favorite cards because it's about abundance that is earned. So it's another card that speaks to recognition and promotion and raise and, you know, being honored or awarded or rewarded and all these things. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. It's sitting here mirroring the Knight of Cups, right? And they both represent the same energy. So not only can this be about somebody returning to your life, but maybe you did try it before and something didn't work out, or you were separated, or whatever happened. And for whatever reason, you're being given a second time around. Major Arcana card Judgment can be about second times around, second chances. It's also about abundance that is earned. Up to and being raised up and promoted, including ascension. So from a spiritual perspective, being raised up like by the universe, by God. And then when that happens, right, when you're raised up in a spiritual sense, so like 5D, think of it that way, then it also shows up and translates here too into the 3D, because as above, so below. So you will receive some sort of promotion on this plane as well. Crowning, the 5 of water, womp womp, 5 of cups. This is all about, you know, doubt, pessimism, disappointment. Oh, woe is me. Nothing good ever happens to me. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilled milk. So this is failure to count our blessings and focusing upon the negative. So we want to avoid this, stay away from that kind of energy, especially with all the other very strong and positive energy that surrounds us here. At the root or foundation, the King of Air. He is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Maybe this is Mercury. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air is potentially Mercury, or perhaps Venus, or a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be, somebody could have something legal going on. King of Air rather, King of Swords for me, often a lawyer or judge, and he is sitting here next to Judgment. So it can be something like that, or if it's not a legal situation, like something happening in an official capacity where you're being awarded or rewarded something, maybe having to do with an asset, even a home. Why there could be different reasons why strength would be required in that sort of scenario. Maybe it's an inheritance. Maybe you had to, whether it's recently or it's in the past, for this to come about. Regardless, you had to lose someone that was important to you or close to you, perhaps, or if they didn't pass away, maybe it's some sort of like separation from the person, divorce or something, and that may be why we need to maintain some strength here. And the universe provides that strength to us. And at the heart of the matter, it's more very positive news for us. In fact, this card means good news. It's about good news. The Page of Water, the Page of Cups, is intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. And also there are heightened psychic abilities. So all the stuff that we just talked about and read about a moment ago happening. This can also be just like a yes. It's good news. It's hearing from somebody. So again, somebody returning to your life, maybe giving you a call, or, hey, and going in your DMs or whatever it is. Very unexpectedly, you're hearing from this person. And it makes you feel good, or you're hearing some sort of good news, maybe in relation to, again, a settlement or something. You're getting, a letter or a phone call that we're wrapping it up. Settlement's been reached, and so maybe that's what's requiring strength for you to face the situation. Especially if you're being made to relive some sort of experience, a car accident or whatever through which you went, divorce again, some sort of family court matter, something through which you went, you're being made to face it again, and because the settlement is coming up, but at the end of the day, it's a positive thing. It can make you feel a little wishy-washy here, requiring the strength because of the nature of the situation, but you are on top of the situation. This is a very positive message. So like I said, we're going to go through and clarify everything. So it's clarifying the 9 of winter. is the Ace of Winter or Air of Swords. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. So maybe the masculine still experiencing this fear because he doesn't know about what's ahead. What's ahead is a new beginning. Yes, it comes on the heels of some sort of difficulty. Yes, you had to, climb a mountain to get to where you are and to make it to this new beginning, but it's a new beginning nonetheless, and it is positive. So no reason or need to hold on to fear. Surrounding the masculine, clarifying the Eight of Spring, the Eight of Wands, is the King of Wands. He is motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. This King of Fire could be a direct fire sign, an actual character or person in your life, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be Mars, who is currently located in the sign of Aquarius. Could be Jupiter. I think Jupiter is also in Capricorn, where Pluto is right now, if I don't remember, if I'm not mistaken. And also, the King of Fire is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. So this is very representative of the masculine's own energy. And that alone can be what this is about, right? He's being given a lot of different things to do. He's been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. And he could feel stressed out, and maybe that's why he has the Nine of Swords here. But again, he has the ability to handle them all because he is what? The King of Wands, right? So we got that there. Clarifying the Knight of Cups. It is very, very potentially a Knight of Cups. It is Major Arcana card 13, Death, which represents the sign of what? Scorpio. Ruled by Pluto. So we got that, okay? Clarifying this Knight of Cups here. For some of us, a Scorpio could be who is returning to our life in whatever capacity. Maybe a Scorpio male is returning to our life, or someone is returning to the life of a Scorpio male. This could be him. Scorpio also in part ruled by Mars, not just Pluto, right? Mars is the esoteric ruler of Scorpio. Couple possibilities. We're going to continue to go around though. Again, the Knight of Cups, very, very positive in any area or aspect of your life. And if it is something romantic, which it often is, it's guiding you to let go of any past things. Like, don't base this new experience or relationship on something from the past, even if it is with the same person. Like, allow this to be a new start. Crowning the feminine, clarifying Major Arcana card Strength. It is another Ace of Air Swords. So now we have these two Ace of Swords mirroring one another. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan, to reshape your goals, and to end up with something even better than what you had before. So that's more that sort of knocking down the old and building something brand new and ending up with something even better. A top Major Arcana card 16, Life Experience or the Tower. Very nice. Is Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer or the Fool. Brand new opportunity, brand new path you never walked before. Fresh, fresh path, fresh ideas, fresh situation. And so that may be what's sort of knocking you down. Like, oh my God, am I ready for all this new? A leap of faith. Follow your dreams, at least to unexpected opportunities. And clarifying Major Arcana card 20, Renewal or Judgment. It is, guess what? The King of Water or Cups. So again, Judgment represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio. And this, in my hand, is what? Yeah, very potentially a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He is trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which for me is unconditional love. All right, so not only might there be a king or Knight of Cups, entering or returning to your life in a maybe romantic sense in terms of a relationship. This can also be about any brand new, fresh start, new beginning, new path for you, feminine, that just makes you emotionally happy and fulfilled, right? So even if it's a job you can fall in love with the King of Cups. You can fall in love with this new life of yours, this brand new start of yours. Friendships, romantic relationships, of course. Crowning atop the 5 of water, 5 of cups, is the 10 of air, so the 10 of swords. Again, it's an end of a difficult time. And in the tarot, the 10 of air, the ace of air, succeeds the 10 of air, right? We have the 10 of swords. The next card is the ace of swords. So we have that here. We got the 10 of swords crowning, and we got the ace of swords and the ace of swords. It's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better. It means like leave the difficult times in the past. Leave them there where they want to be. Don't take them with you to the new times. Knock that down and build something new to go forward with. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean like substance abuse or something. It can be any sort of toxic or codependent relationship that we're needing to move beyond. Atop or clarifying the King of Air of Swords is the 3 of Air of Swords. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. Not to rush to judgment or to impose judgment on yourself or somebody else. Instead, we're guided to forgive. And what is the biggest display of strength is the ability to forgive and to have compassion. Release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. So this week we could end up with some sort of opportunity, some sort of second chance to make some sort of relationship or circumstance right that was hurtful in the past. Whether we, brought on or caused the hurt to ourselves or somebody else, or mutual exchange. Could have involved addiction, maybe the circumstances beyond somebody's control because they weren't themselves. But we're guided to let whatever it is, all of that go, and to move on to a happier time now. So lastly, at the heart of the matter, atop the Page of Cups, is the 3 of Earth. So it's more abundance that is earned. This card, very much like Major Arcana card Judgment, is about just that for me. Abundance that is earned. The power of creativity. Recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. Also, we have these 2 3s here, though, so I do have to mention that. The hurt, the pain could have involved some sort of party of 3, not necessarily a love triangle, but that is possible. But more importantly, again, the 3 of Earth is a positive card. It is about abundance. It is abundance is on its way to you because you deserve it, because you've earned it. It can be connected to spiritual abundance as well, and raise and promotion, which equates to ascension, basically, and your vibration being increased. And then that, again, will translate to something in your 3D life as well. Also, 3s are about creativity. We heard and read a lot about creativity and helping to bring about our own abundance through a creative means this week in those things that we read. So further advice to the masculine here. It's another 9 of air, 9 of swords. Remember, that's the card with which he started. So masculine, this is about your fear. It's showing up twice here to so that you can acknowledge it and face it if you feel it happening to you, and release this fear. But it's just not warranted. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. You know what self-fulfilling prophecies is? It's when you manifest negativity into your own life. And there's no need to do that because you have all this positivity here. So knock that down and build something better up. For the feminine, the 5 of fire, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. This card, if it's not about one being conflicted, like you have an inner conflict, then it's very, very often, for me, something having to do with close friends and or family or work. It can be competition at work. Maybe that's why you're up for a promotion or a raise. Like it's more than one person that's up for it, and you're going to win it if you keep that positive headset in mind. And it's a reminder that there's nothing wrong with competing, right? There's nothing negative about competing. Don't be hard on yourself because of the fact that you're going for what you deserve. Proudly do it. As long as you fight fair and you're not, trying to hurt somebody else in the competition. If it's healthy competition, it's positive. And it's very much connected, that card, to our overall energy of the Seven of Fire or Wands, where we're guided to, defend ourselves and stand our ground. From the Ascended Master deck to the masculine, nurture yourself, says Mother Mary. So not only does she have a feast day this week, she's showing up for the masculine too. And I think it's connected to this fear that you're having. That's why she wants you to nurture yourself, so that you can relieve yourself of that. For the feminine, our card is Teacher. And this is very like Hermit / Hierophant. So it is very earth sign, very Taurus, very Virgo, and maybe coming in because of the Mercury and Taurus aspect. With Teacher, it's about learning something, coming into information, clarity, and or helping somebody else to come into clarity. And I think it's tied to, again, this potential revelation or aha moment that shows up with the tarot when something unexpected happens in our lives. And lastly, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, for the masculine, Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy. Move beyond your current challenges. Your current challenges are you standing in your own way with your fear and your lack of confidence with your 2 9 of Swords here. So you can easily move beyond that. Focus on what you desire. That's how you're going to accomplish it. And lastly, feminine for us, it is Bridget. So more of this very Leo energy, very fiery. Look at her red hair. Inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. You have the power. You have the strength, and you're going to display it by offering not only yourself, but others forgiveness, compassion, releasing any harsh judgments from now, from the past, from whenever, and moving on with a much more better and happier life. Hope you guys have enjoyed the general. I will be back with the love. Namaste.